The college was built in the late 1800s, a grand institution meant to be a beacon of education and progress. For many years it thrived, with students coming from all over to study within its hallowed halls. But as time went on, strange things began to happen. It started with whispers, stories of unexplained accidents, mysterious disappearances, and sightings of ghostly figures roaming the campus at night. The students and faculty tried to ignore these rumors, dismissing them as mere superstitions. However, the events that unfolded one fateful night changed everything. It was a stormy evening, the kind where lightning splits the sky and the wind howls like a tortured soul. A group of students had gathered in the library to study for their exams. The air was thick with tension, both from the impending tests and the oppressive atmosphere of the storm. The power flickered, casting eerie shadows on the walls. Suddenly, the lights went out completely, plunging the library into darkness. The students huddled together, using their phones to light the way. They decided to make their way to the dormitories, hoping the power would be restored soon. As they walked through the dimly lit corridors, they heard strange sounds, footsteps echoing behind them, doors creaking open and slamming shut, and faint whispers that seemed to come from nowhere. One of the students, a young woman named Sarah, felt a cold hand brush against her arm. She turned, expecting to see one of her friends, but there was no one there. She shook it off as her imagination playing tricks on her, but the feeling of unease grew stronger with every step. They finally reached the dormitory and decided to stick together for the night, hoping the storm would pass and the power would return. As they settled in, trying to distract themselves with stories and games, the atmosphere grew heavier. The room felt colder, and an inexplicable sense of dread hung in the air. Suddenly they heard a loud bang from the hallway. The bravest among them, a guy named Mike, decided to investigate. Armed with a flashlight, he stepped into the corridor, the others following close behind. They saw a door at the end of the hallway slowly creak open. It was the entrance to the old basement, a place that had been sealed off for years due to structural issues. The door had always been locked, so how had it opened now? Curiosity mixed with fear as they approached the basement entrance. Mike shone his flashlight down the stairs, revealing a narrow, dark staircase descending into the depths of the building. Against their better judgment, they decided to explore the basement. As they descended, the air grew colder and the sense of dread intensified. The flashlight flickered, casting eerie shadows on the walls. They reached the bottom of the stairs and found themselves in a long, dimly lit corridor lined with old, decaying doors. One of the doors was slightly ajar, and a faint light emanated from within. They pushed it open and stepped inside. The room was filled with old furniture, dusty books, and strange symbols scrawled on the walls. In the center of the room stood an old, ornate mirror. It seemed out of place, almost as if it didn't belong there. As they approached the mirror, they noticed something horrifying. Their reflections were distorted, twisted into grotesque, nightmarish versions of themselves. Suddenly, the door slammed shut behind them. The room grew colder and the shadows seemed to come alive. They heard whispers, louder and more insistent now. The mirror's surface rippled like water, and a figure began to emerge from it. It was a woman, her face pale and gaunt, eyes hollow and filled with an otherworldly rage. She reached out towards them, and the room filled with a deafening scream. Panicked, they tried to open the door, but it wouldn't budge. The figure stepped out of the mirror, advancing towards them with a malevolent grin. Just when they thought all hope was lost, the lights flickered back on, and the figure vanished. The door swung open, and they stumbled out of the room, racing back up the stairs and out of the basement. The next day, they reported what had happened to the college authorities, but no one believed them. The basement door was locked once more, and life at the college returned to normal, or so it seemed. But the students knew better. They had encountered something beyond the realm of the living, something that still lurked in the shadows of the old, haunted college. From that night on, they were never the same. They could still hear the whispers, feel the cold touch of unseen hands, and see the distorted reflections in every mirror they passed. The college, once a place of learning and growth, had become a prison of fear and uncertainty. The haunted legacy of the old institution continued, a chilling reminder that some places are forever marked by the past, their ghosts never truly laid to rest.